And welcome back to the Chicago Bears franchise rebuild. Here today where we will be going through year 7 of the franchise, going through the draft, the off-season, as well as regular season play and any sort of postseason play. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action, and don't forget to subscribe. So, we're coming off of a year where the Bears went 8-9. We decided to load up more on talent. I would say more on the side of just getting the BPA type of approach. We got a tackle, we got, I believe, a running back, a wide receiver. We got a lot of good quality players in the last draft class, but it's now time for this team to really kind of change. You know, players like DJ Moore, Josh Allen on the other side, you know, Jalen Johnson, CJ Gardner-Johnson. A lot of these players are getting older, and it's kind of heading to times of change here for the Bears. You know, I think in this up and coming off season, we need to find our new bell cow at running back or running backs. You know, I think we need to find an above average wide receiver to pair with DJ Moore, as well as Jerry Gay, and kind of figure out the tackle position. I think the interior is very good, but the tackle spot is where we need. Of course, a lot of questions here on Cliff Nicholson. Entering into year 4, he's made it to the postseason his first 3 years in the league. He's the ranked 26th quarterback, though, which isn't terrible. It's not great either. This is the other question in this: is do we decide to do we move forward with Cliff Nicholson? I have taken a look at the draft class. It is not that good in terms of quarterbacks. There's a couple that I do like, but it's a tough sell in my opinion. We also have to make a couple moves here on defensive tackle here, with Grover Dexter and Carlos Watkins both entering into free agency, it looks like. You know, Dexter here, 27 years old. He's been in the franchise since his rookie year. You know, and I like continuity on my roster, but is it time to kind of get an upgrade here? And then, of course, Cortez Watkins here. Excellent defensive tackle. Didn't play much in his rookie year, but he's been playing a lot in the last couple seasons, and he's produced 10 sacks. So he is a good young player that we could continue to try to build around. Of course, we also have Dalton Kelly here. He's entering into free agency, so corner kind of becomes a position of need. Do you re-sign Kelly, or do you try to make it work with something else? And of course, you know, we're going to be letting CJ Gardner-Johnson go. So that means Trent Sheffield and Danny Reeves will become the two, you know, safety duo here, and hopefully they can produce. We did decide to re-sign Max Cox to a long-term extension. You know, Chuck Gardner is probably the next pillar that needs to fall. But just like on offense, I think we need some more star talent here on defense. And that's going to be this NFL offseason. And, you know, with the bug that doesn't allow us to sign players in the first stage, it's going to be difficult. We will have money to work with, so let's get into re-signing and see what we can do. Well, we have $105 million to work with, and we have a good amount of free agents. Jonathan Howard here, 26 years old. He's looking to become a free agent, and I think this is a very easy decision for us. We're going to let Howard walk. 3 years with us. Didn't eclipse 1,000 yards in the sim. He did produce touchdowns, which is definitely a positive, but I think that finding another young back shouldn't be too difficult. So Howard, we're going to be letting go. For Dalton Kelly, this is a contract I will come back to. 26 years old, I drafted him. He's 6'4". I really like him, but I don't know just yet if we're going to give him a contract. Danny Reeves and Cliff Nicholson's 5th-year options. So for Reeves, this is a no-brainer in my opinion. For Nicholson, I am not going to be doing this. So we will be rejecting the 5th-year option for Cliff Nicholson. And then I would sit here and say Cortez Watkins is probably the last player that I want to negotiate with. We're going to be letting Beach walk. We drafted a new kicker last year from Michael Dixon here. I will offer him a 1-year contract. Just having a solid punter is never a bad idea. So let's work on Cortez Watkins here. We did offer him a contract at the end of last episode. I'm gonna give him a 2 years, $16.4 million, and he wants to play for a new team next year. So I'm gonna be letting also Grover Dexter test. And with Dalton Kelly, I would like to keep him. He's a good, solid third corner. So 3 years, 28, and he's also gonna test. I do have the money, and if we wanted to guarantee having 3 starting corners, we could do this. I'm not though. Let's just hit open free agency. I think there's still the bug, so I'm probably gonna have to sim past stage 1, guys. So unfortunately, due to the bug, we didn't have an opportunity to sign some of these top free agents. Jordan Mailata would have been a player that I would have loved to get on this roster. Beach is still out there as a kicker. Landon Dickerson. Howard just went to the Patriots. Let's just look at the sign list. CJ Gardner-Johnson heading to New York. Dalton Kelly going to the Bucks. And Dexter, he's going to Green Bay. Man, Green Bay signed one of our talented players, and the Giants also signed a new quarterback. So we have an opportunity to bring in some players. Let me look around the league. Let's see if there's any contracts I want to give. So I do have 5 contracts. So first one is Colton Miller, wanting him. He's the best tackle out right now in free agency. Jalen Ramsey has interest in coming here, so might as well try to get Ramsey to come to this roster. Jonathan Allen here, good defensive tackle. Caleb Royals could be a solid running back by committee. And then Cortez Watkins, trying to get him to come back. So let's evaluate. Let's see if we have any new Bears. So we do have 3 new Bears here. Jalen Ramsey signed. He's going to be our 3rd corner on the roster. Jonathan Allen here. He'll be at least one of our defensive tackles. And Caleb Royals, he will get an opportunity to be a solid back on this team. Cortez has still yet to sign, and it looks like Miller has signed somewhere else. He signed with the Rams. So I'm going to look around the league. If there's anyone else I want to target, I'll let you guys know. So I got a couple more offers out there. Elton Jenkins is going to be a target. Ronnie Stanley as well. And Keith Randall, if you guys don't remember when he was in the draft, he was actually my 2nd favorite quarterback. The class before drafting, what's his name? Cliff Nicholson. Offering him a 2-year deal. It's a pretty big 2-year deal, competing right now with the Cardinals, and we still have Watkins. So let's evaluate. Let's see if we got any new Bears. So Rodney Stanley signs with us, and it looks like Elton Jenkins goes somewhere else. So we still have a couple contracts out there. I don't think I'm going to make any more. Still have $32-ish million. So let's just get to the draft. We'll go through the first selection, and then we'll go from there. And here's the roster as we enter into the NFL draft. It looks like Randall did not come in here into Chicago, as Watkins also did re-sign, so we brought him back. But let's do a quick little roster update for you guys. So, do we rock and roll with Cliff Nicholson? That's the major question here in the draft. We don't have a 2nd round pick. We do have the 19th overall pick. But do you decide to move Nicholson and the 1st overall pick, and your 1st round pick and a couple others? I don't think so. I think we're rolling with Cliff Nicholson here in year 4. And if we need to, we'll franchise tag him. We have Troy Smith here, Caleb Royals, and Reggie Silver's 2nd-year back that we drafted. I think we're going to go running back by committee here. So I think with offensively, trying to get another tackle potentially, trying to maybe draft a wide receiver could also help us out a lot. And then defensively, I still think interior defensive line, maybe even an edge rusher. Probably a corner wouldn't be a bad idea. Kind of need a little bit of everything, so I don't think that we're going to trade up. But welcome to the 2029 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints hold the 1st overall pick, and they will select Mike Hendricks, left tackle, and he was the best tackle in this class. I did do a little bit of scouting, but so that's unfortunate. So tackle's kind of off the board here in the 1st round, in my opinion. But I'm going to sim us to our 1st round pick. If I make any sort of trades up, I'll show you guys. And here in the 2029 NFL Draft, our 19th selection will be Orlando Winter. Not drafting a quarterback. The 2 quarterbacks that I do like fell to us, but there's a chance I think they might make it to the 3rd round. So Winter will be the selection. He has normal development, 91 strength. He is strong at defensive tackle. very intrigued with his skill set, so Winter might get an opportunity early on in his career. Because of the fact that we didn't have a second round pick, I kind of forgot I traded it. We're just going to try to get some good players on this team. We're going to rock and roll with our receivers, but Paul here will be the selection. He's a deep threat, 91 speed, hidden development. So Paul was the best player available in my opinion here in the third round. Hopefully he has a high overall. Here in the fourth round, Dion Ingram here will be the selection, another receiver. We're going to go back to back. 98 speed, 98 acceleration, 99 agility. So I'm expecting a major deep threat here from Dion Ingram. Just trying to add depth to the offensive line. Russell Barlow here will be the selection, center, 90 or 85 strength. So Russell will be a solid backup most likely. Brian Lindsay here in the sixth round, safety, hidden dev, 89 speed. Don't love that, but hopefully he can help out in the running game, or mostly on special teams. And because of the fact that we don't have a punter, Reggie Daniels here in the seventh round, he will be the selection, 85 strength and 75 speed as well, normal dev out of Ohio State. And that will be our draft class. I know we didn't get any big time prospects, or I didn't make any sort of moves here. I decided to stay pat just because we didn't have that many selections and we had a lot of holes to fill. So let's check out this recap here. Let's see if we could, what we added to the roster. Orlando, I'm hoping, is a very good player. 73 overall is not bad at all. And you can kind of work with this skill set. He reminds me a lot of Orlando Watkins, so maybe, or Carlos Watkins. So hopefully Watkins and Winter could become maybe a good duo for a few years. Fisher here, who had hidden development, 65 overall. Yeah, that's it's gonna be tough to get him on the field, and if we do, it's gonna be just tough. Dion Ingram, 71 overall. We went back-to-back receivers, and we got a true legitimate deep threat here. Happy about that. Maybe we gotta find a way to get him out on the field. A couple of 60s over here, and then Reggie Daniels, the fullback, 74 overall. We need a new fullback anyways, and he's already the top 10. So let's get into year 7. Let's see what we can do. Let's try to make the postseason yet again. This will be the opening day roster here for year 7. A couple changes here. Anthony here is our new number 2 receiver. Reggie Silver will be getting the first opportunity. Troy Smith and Caleb Royals, they will probably get an opportunity. I did also bring in Christian McCaffrey just to be a veteran presence, and just because these guys are all young. But this offense, we'll see what we can do with Cliff Nicholson. This is his make or break season. He has the accuracies to play well. I think the awareness might be the thing that's holding him back, but we improve the offensive line. Pat McLean will be the starting right tackle, but Caleb Bagley here could get an opportunity at some point in this season. Defensively, this will be the base defense. Hoping that this secondary can hold up. You know, Sheffield's taking over. We'll see how these linebackers play. You know, the Dean Harris here. They might take Harris's spot and Landry's spot. And then in terms of specialists, you know, one thing you could see is Gardner going in the inside. I'm going with Winter as that other pass rusher. We'll see how he'll handle that. Ramsey will play in the slot, and Moore will play in the slot as well. And Harris will be the other linebacker to Stevenson. So trying to get a lot of players involved early on. We're trying to improve this roster as year 1 will be playing again, or year 7, excuse me. We'll start off here with the Baltimore Ravens. I'll give you guys an update right around like week 4, 5, or 6. Well, we have made it to week 6, our bye week. We're currently 3-2, top place here in the division. As of right now, our passing game is actually leading the charge. Defensively has been playing okay, below average. Really, actually, they've been playing pretty bad, which is kind of surprising, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. But we're right now 3-2, first place. Let's check out some negotiations. You know, we have $180 million to work with. And we have a lot of negotiations to consider here. Johnny Derby, Chuck Gardner, Cliff Nicholson. And Nicholson's contract is only a 4-year, $42 million. That's kind of a bargain if you think about it. Carlos Cannon. We have Jalen Johnson, Josh Allen, DJ Moore, Dion Kemp here. We have a lot of key starters and key players on this roster that need new deals. I was also able to sign Darren Beach. He was still in open free agency. Might as well keep him on the roster. For now, we're not going to do anything just yet with negotiations. Let's check out some stats. Let's see if I want to make any sort of adjustments. Nicholson, 10 touchdowns, 1 pick. So far, so good. Happy to see that. I think we'll change up the running back. Maybe we get Troy Smith some more touches. Tyler Scott is leading us in receiving yards. DJ Moore playing well. Doug Anthony, gotta find the end zone. And Jerry Gay, who just got that big contract, is not producing the same. And it looks like in terms of tackle-wise, Rodney Stanley and Pat McLean are struggling, but too worried about it. Defensively, Josh Allen, I see, has 7 sacks. Corliss Watkins, we need some more pressure somewhere. And Harris here has an interception. Yeah, I think we're going to make some changes here on defense and see what we can do. And we have made it to the trade deadline here in week 8. We are 4-2. Slowly, it looks like we're kind of improving in some areas. Our running game is not playing particularly great, but looks like our passing game and defensively, we've started to pick things up, so I'm happy to see that. You know, this is a time where I think that we're going to kind of keep the team how it is. I don't think we need to sell any players. We have plenty of capital. I think we have plenty of everything. So we got to just keep our good players, and we'll start here with Johnny Derby. I want to make sure that he's on here for the next 5 seasons. So got to continue negotiating with him. For Chuck Gardner, I mean, I think Gardner's our future edge rusher or just top-tier defensive line talent. So a 5-year contract with him. Got that done. Cliff Nicholson, we're going to hold off until the end of the year. He's either going to get a contract like this or the franchise tag. Carlos Cannon, I think that this is a no-brainer. He's a good young guard. Might as well try to keep him for the next 2 seasons. He resigns. We still have plenty of money. Jalen Johnson. I want to see if that contract will go down. Josh Allen has no interest. I'm not going to let DJ Moore walk out of this building without a new contract, so we're going to give him a 3-year deal. He resigns. I know he's in regression years, but he's a top-tier talent in my opinion. Martinez here is probably the last one that I am highly debating about giving a contract to. Yeah, I think we give that 2-year extension here to D'Angelo Martinez here. It's not terrible, it's not bad. And just because right now I don't know how long-term Carlos will be. I don't know about Winters, and I don't think Allen will play much longer. So we just got to work on Derby. We still have $118 million. That might go down to like 110. And from there, we'll still have plenty of cap room to do something in free agency. So we're going to continue trucking through year 7. I'm going to continue negotiating with Derby, and I'll let you guys know when I re-sign him. And Derby has re-signed 5 years, 77. He's a top 5 center. Going to soon enough be the best in the league. Happy to keep him. As we've made it to week 13, we have a 7-4 record. We've won the last 3 straight games, but it's a tight division here. Yeah, we gotta. Our passing game is doing all the heavy lifting on offense. We can't run the football, and our defense can't stop the run. It's tough out there. It's gonna be a tough sledding. So let's get to week 18. Let's see if we make it to the postseason again here with Cliff Nicholson. As we've made it to week 18, the Chicago Bears are 11-5, first place of the division. Looks like we're going to go back to the postseason, ladies and gentlemen. Currently the 3rd seed. A lot of familiar faces here, besides the Giants, really. The Jets are also in first place in the AFC. But we got the Niners here. You know, let's do a quick little stat. Actually, no, let's not go through stats. But we're 11-5. Our offense, we're still very much predicated on our defense not allowing a ton of points and our offense to throw up passing numbers. So this game doesn't really mean a whole lot to us. We're 4th best team in the league. It's kind of surprising after a kind of a slow average start. So let's go see who will we be playing in the postseason. And we will be facing against the New York Football Giants. I don't know what, I mean, I know they moved off of Keith Randall. I don't know what else they have done to really change the team. They brought in CJ Gardner-Johnson this past offseason, so we'll see how much that of an impact that has made. Let's go check out this Giants team. They are my favorite team. Diehard Giants fan here, so let's just see what they've done over these last few years. We haven't really checked out all these rosters. So they have turned to Mac Jones and Dalton Lacey here, 2 free agent quarterbacks. No more Saquon Barkley. You know, they have Matt Dunn here, who's their number 3, it looks like, wide receiver. And this was they have Cole Kmet. They haven't changed too much across this line. It's the same offensive line from, I remember checking them out last time. They've made some changes, not too many. They've kind of figured out the cornerback position a little bit. CJ's now on this roster, and they have Brister here, so they brought in 2 of our pass-free safeties. So let's go see if we'll get past here the wild card round. We went 12-5. Is that good enough for a postseason win? Let's see. We do. We beat them 35-7, and now we'll be facing against the 14-3 Seattle Seahawks versus Justin Fields. It would definitely suck if we went home versus them. Since doing this sim, we've won, I believe, only 2 playoff games here. And we've lost, I believe, 2 as well. So we just won our 2nd playoff game. Hopefully here we can get back to the championship game here, as we're gonna just do some upgrades here. Various different players need upgrades, like Ben Allen here. I've been mostly working on his zone coverage just to kind of even them out a little bit. So that's the only reason why some of them I'm gonna do manually. Some of them I'm not. So for Daniels and Hilton here, we'll just let the game handle it. So now divisional round football, we have the Seattle Seahawks. I guess they're the number 1 seed. And do we get another victory? We do. We beat them, and now we have to face against the 15-2 Atlanta Falcons, who kicked us out of the postseason only 3 years ago. Same spot and everything. And the Chiefs and the Bengals are trying to make it to the Super Bowl as well. So let's do some, I'm gonna do some of these quick upgrades here, and then we'll get into the sim. Okay, this actually should be nice and quick here. So, championship game. Will we pause here? So if we win this game, after I sim, if we win, the episode here is gonna end, and we got a Super Bowl episode next time. Will we have that here? Can we beat the Atlanta Falcons? We can't. We lose 42-10. Damn. So after a 12-5 record, we go into the postseason winning 2 of 1. We went 1-2. Now we kind of have to redo this whole thing all over again. Cliff Nicholson did make the Pro Bowl, so that's nice. We have yet to check out stats. Cam Richardson, he got in. He's not on the roster anymore, though. DJ got into the Pro Bowl. No tight ends. Derby is probably our only lineman. Josh Allen made it in, so just to, I guess this is to be seen. We will check out the stats very quickly. Andrew Bird got in. He got 3 interceptions off of me one time. But let's go check out some stats here. Disappointing here in year 7. So Cliff Nicholson here, 28 touchdowns, 6 picks, just made it to the Pro Bowl, 25 years old, 22nd ranked quarterback. The question is, do you think that we can find a better quarterback out there in the draft? That's the question. He just had his lowest yards in a season, his lowest touchdowns, but again, he doesn't throw that many interceptions this year. He was also sacked the 2nd most in his career. Still warrants him, I guess, a Pro Bowl. Running game, Caleb Royals got the end zone 14 times, but we need a star running back. We need someone in here because a committee does not work in Madden, I guess. DJ Moore hit 1,100 yards and 11 scores. Doug Anthony picked it up with 900 yards, and Tyler Scott. So our 3 receivers all are, 2 of them at least, close to 1,000 yards. And Jerry Gay has a quiet season. Surprised about that a little bit. Offensive line, it looks like Rodney Stanley, the left side struggled, but the right side held up pretty well. Defensively, Steven Timmons had a good tackle season. Josh Allen, 18.5 sacks. Chuck Garner kind of has a quiet season here, 5.5 sacks. And no one else really kind of standing out here. In terms of TFLs, Gardner and Allen lead the way. Harris as well, he got 2 interceptions. Don't really have a ton of those. So we've checked out the, oh man, let's check out the yearly awards here. Let's check these out very quickly, but it's kind of unfortunate. Anthony Richardson, MVP, and we got into 4th place. Let's see if there's any Bears. Got Josh Allen, Defensive Player of the Year, so that should keep his development trait, and that probably means he's going to still want a boatload of money to stay here. He also wins Defensive Lineman of the Year, and he's the only one with any sort of acclimate. So let's get to the offseason. And this year's Super Bowl champs are the Kansas City Chiefs, beating the Falcons 27-21. The Falcons have made it to 4 Super Bowls in a row now. Will they make it 5? They lost their first one, won their second, and just lost their third. I think the Chiefs just won back-to-back. As now we enter into another offseason, or the next offseason here. We have money, but we have a lot of decisions to be made here entering into year 8. You know, we have year 8, year 9, and year 10. We have 3 more episodes, ladies and gentlemen. And it looks like Rodney Stanley just retired. We gotta figure out this running game. You know, we need a back to be the bell cow here in this backfield. We gotta find. I don't think that Pat McLean is a starting tackle. I think he's a better backup. I think wide receivers also in need, even though both Scott and Anthony had a 900-yard season. So it's still not good enough. And then defensively, you know, do we kind of just rock and roll with these defensive tackles? Maybe. Do we try to find another linebacker? What do we do with Josh Allen and Jalen Johnson? Could it be kind of like an end of an era type of ordeal here, where it's tough to recuperate talent, you know? And I haven't been doing a great job drafting for some of these guys, so... And Jalen Ramsey just retired, so... This is gonna be tough here. Year 8 might be really one of our last shots unless we want to spend a boatload of money. And that's really if we can find a quarterback in this draft class, because if we can't, then we have to tag Nicholson. Or, excuse me, we have to make the decision on Nicholson regardless. If we tag him and trade him, that's fine, but we got to make a decision on him, and that's going to be very early on in next episode. So guys, please leave a like, comment, let me know what your thoughts are, subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate everyone's love for these videos as of late, and I will see you in the next one.